done it! I cannot believe it! I swear you'll never see anything like this ever again!
Hello everyone, we are Through on Goal, a podcast where we talk about football and pretty much nothing else. My name is Sam, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host and best friend Elliot. Say hello, Elliot.
Hello, Sam. Nearly went for it that time.
I will. I'm not. It will be like I'm just going to throw it in. Not going to tell you when.
Yeah.
But some weeks, just be. I throw you off because what I've done the previous weeks is I've purposely messed up the intro just to get you being like I was going to mess this one up and then catch you off.
When you do it right.
Master plan. Just the master plan. How's your week been?
I can't remember. It's been exhausting. It's been relentless. But
You've been drunk all week.
no, just a bit of Saturday. But yeah. But yeah, how's your week been?
Yes, it's good because
Importantly, how's next week going to be?
next week's going to be brilliant because I'm not at work. I don't have to. Emails turned off. No one can just. That's it. It's just me, Jacob, Lana, and Bruno. Done.
Chilling. Nice.
Happy.
Well,
Can't wait.
I don't know the feeling of having a week off work for about the last 18 months, so I'm jealous of you.
Would you say that makes you quite sad and upset and angry?
This is a brilliant segue. Yes, it does.
Would you say it makes you more sad, upset and angry than your best mate Patrick Bamford, who you very, in one of the podcasts said you don't think he's going to score any goals in the Premier League? Score a hat-trick against Aston Villa.
Yeah, that also upset.
An in-form Aston Villa, can we just say? Not
an Aston Villa which would have gone to the top of the table with even a point.
Yep.
It was painful. I was watching the East Midlands derby on Friday night, and I was keeping notifications on the pay-per-view game because
you didn't pay £15 for it.
No, not
really.
I've got if I'd have
been
spent
such a success.
if I'd have spent £15 to see hat-trick Bamford, I would have.
No. Oh,
it would have
God.
hurt. Yeah, hat-trick Bamford.
Even for me, that was
that's
bad.
It's painful.
Is it weird? I don't mean to. Obviously, he's scoring a hat trick. He's scoring goals, but I still don't see him being. I don't know. Maybe I'm doing the Harry Kane effect. He could be England's next Harry Kane.
Behave.
He could be at the Euros. Patrick Bamford's in the Euro squad. Mark my words. Remember this.
Oh God, I hope
is
not.
it?
Like he's what?
Sunday, 25th of October.
Thing is,
my
opinion that you just mentioned of I don't think he's going to score any Premier League goals. It was warranted. Before this season, he'd played. I think it was for 3 different Premier League clubs. Playing, I think it's 25 games, scoring only once. So for that reason, it wasn't a terrible opinion to have, but I've been proved wrong. And there's sometimes I enjoy being proved wrong, and this is not one of those times. I'm not a big fan of Patrick Bamford.
I mean, last season, he did score 16 goals in the league and contributed to 2 assists, obviously, for a striker, unless you're Harry Kane, assisting isn't like in your game.
Yeah.
So 16 goals in the Championship last season. He's an okay return. Like, I wouldn't say... Yeah. I mean, I'm not scoring 16 goals in the Championship, am I? So I can't exactly say, it's awful or really bad. But, so he knows where the net is, kind of. But you look at his record before last season, and he scored 9 goals season before that, 11 goals season before that, 1 goal the season before that, and that's when he played in the Premier League.
Yeah, you look at his times at like his loan spell to Middlesbrough when they were in the Premier League, and his time with Palace in the Premier League, and he's not a prolific Premier League goal scorer. Well, until this season.
Yeah.
I think they said he's the second highest scoring English player this season behind DCL.
Yeah, I mean, he's 3rd top goal scorer in the Premier League at this moment in time.
Wow.
Bearing in mind, obviously, Tottenham and have yet to play as of time of recording.
Yeah.
Because obviously Son and Kane are up there. Serious shout, though. Potential Euro squad next year. What we thinking?
I'm trying to be as sort of unbiased as possible.
I can see the pain and the strength for you to hold back what you want to say. Serious talk though, and I'm asking you this only because throughout this whole segment I've seen you really the strength that you've had to pull away from what you really want to say. But serious talk, Patrick Bamford, England Euro squad, what are we thinking?
See, I don't think he's there yet. I think we've got better in that position. I think obviously Kane's going to go as first choice. Calvert-Lewin's going to go as second choice. Ings is that little burst of pace. Now, you'd want to take a fourth striker, but I can't, unless Patrick Bamford ends up scoring 20 plus goals this season, it can't be him, surely. And I've come to accept that Jack Grealish is probably going to be in most England squads. And
You've been
rightfully
kind of nice
so.
about Jack Grealish, yeah?
Rightfully so, but the line is crossed when you mention Patrick Bamford being in an England squad.
Well, so the current England squad, according to FootMob right now, not a sponsor yet, is the attacking options that we have are Harry Kane, Danny Ings, Raheem Sterling, Jack Grealish, Calvert-Lewin, Marcus Rashford, Tammy Abraham, Harvey Barnes, and Jadon Sancho.
Yeah, Abraham. Let's take Abraham over Bamford.
Right, you knew exactly where I was going with that. Right now, would you not? Tammy Abraham has played 5 games and scored 1 goal. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, he is being kept out of that position by Timo Werner, and he did start only 2 of those 5. Mm-hmm. But right now, I'm taking Bamford over Abraham. Personally, I will be the
You'll be the voice of reason.
The voice of reason, as much as you don't want to be. I understand. As soon as we start talking about like an Arsenal player or a West Ham player, or all those teams that I listed off a couple of weeks ago that I hate, list keeps going. I don't know if he could continue, because he seems to be just a poacher. He just seems to be that in the box. He gets that tap in, he gets that goal. Kind of old school kind of striker that I feel he has about him. You know, he's not pacey, he's not skillful, not technique, he don't pass it. He just gets in the box and scores goals. So you get him in that Euro squad. Yeah, he's not starting against. He's not starting. You know, Harry Kane starting, and argue obviously Calvert-Lewin will probably be more of the backup than Kane. But well, to be fair, Gareth Southgate will probably play him at centre back. In all fairness, he'll
play Mason Mount up front.
That's it. Yeah, Mason Mount will be in goal, centre back, up front. He'll be the first penalty. He's penalty taking everything.
But my question on that to you though is: does Patrick Bamford offer England anything that Kane or Calvert-Lewin doesn't?
Right. My bounce back question to you is, we've been very vocal of players being selected based on their form. Now, do you not think, based on his form, he doesn't deserve to be called up? 3rd highest goal scorer in the league at the moment, 6 games, 6 goals.
So on form, you would have to select Calvert-Lewin and Kane over him, and
you're not taking 3. You're not experimenting.
So Calvert-Lewin and Kane go above him, and I don't think he offers anything that those 2 don't.
But no, okay, right.
You don't want 3 of the same strikers going. If that makes sense.
No, I see that, but I think I would think he deserves at least. We've got these friendlies coming up. I don't know why in the middle of a pandemic.
Oh yeah, we're playing Ireland, aren't we now?
It's a completely different segment. Like, we won't get into it, but why on earth there are international friendlies in the middle of a coronavirus pandemic? Yeah, where you're mixing in with different. I just don't get it.
Different countries who have different rules, and you know.
Well done, New Zealand. Yeah. And friendly against Ireland, and then I think there's a couple of Nation League group stage games. Nation League. You know,
it's fun when you get to the finals. That's it.
Would you not take it? Would you not have him play in those couple of games? You know, the friendly couple of games. He might only come on for 20 minutes, but would you not at least see what he can offer?
Potentially, if it meant he didn't go to it. No, I can't say potentially if he could. If it was, no. He probably deserves to play a few minutes in a friendly against Ireland.
A few minutes. What if he scores a couple of goals? What you saying then? Oh, not in the next one.
It's painful for me to even have this discussion.
I understand that they may all 3 of them are kind of the same kind of strikers and offer the same. But if Bamford is scoring more of those goals, would you rather not have players that are scoring goals rather than, because you've got Sterling and Sancho that can kind of cut in, and Rashford as well. He's versatile. I don't know. It's we're gonna do our Euro squad next year anyway, probably. But it's a good
discussion point. But it's painful for me to even admit that he could have a couple of minutes against Ireland next month.
Yeah. So let's go on to happier times-ish. Well, if you're a Liverpool fan, because you know this team did score 7. I will stop that now. Aston Villa, obviously their unbeaten run comes to an end. Been a good run. Do you kind of see it as, well, they'll probably start going back down mid-table?
I can see them kind of being a mid-table side now. I think that they've recruited so much better this season than they had last season. So I think that they will be sort of clear of the drop. And I think Grealish he's improved on what he was. And he's
hated the beginning of this episode, aren't you?
Yeah, it is painful. Yeah. But yeah, I think Grealish has improved as well. So, and Ollie Watkins, I think, is a fantastic signing. So I can see them being maybe upper mid-table, like a ninth, something like that. Sort of 8 to 10 points short of Europa League places, but not getting relegated and not finishing bottom. Just to throw you under the bus a little bit here.
So I'm looking around for who asked. No, I agree. It's a weird one when it comes to, because if obviously Ollie Watkins, he's proven to be a good signing for Villa, English striker. Mm-hmm. We've got Danny Ings, who's doing well.
We'll put Watkins ahead of Bamford.
You'll put Watkins ahead of Bamford, will you? What about Che Adams? He scored again today.
Yeah,
he seems to be good at forming a really good partnership with Danny Ings at the moment.
6 in
Another
12
English
now,
striker.
after not scoring in 24.
Yeah, so he just needed that wonder goal against Man City to get him going, didn't he? So there's 2 more English strikers. We're spoilt.
Yeah.
But just still not Bamford.
Yeah. So you think Villa will be okay? They'll be sort of mid-table, or you don't think they'll push higher?
Every week that Villa score or win or do better, and Fulham just carry on doing what every single person apart from me predicted Fulham to do, I die a little inside.
Yeah.
I think Villa are safe. I think they're fine. I think they've got a good enough squad for the Premier League. Yeah. I don't think, and if we don't say this with any disrespect, despite 6-7 games in, and I know they've been on a good form, I've never seen them as title contenders.
Yeah. And also, I mentioned Watkins, we mentioned Grealish, and I think getting Ross Barkley on loan is another very good sign. It's a smart
Emilio
signing.
Martinez, smart sign for goalkeeper as well. And
no, very good.
No, I completely agree. So mid-table, they'll probably be like a Stoke car. Remember Stoke? You should just be there.
Sit there in mid-table every year.
Yeah.
10th,
Tony Pulis, oof it up. Speaking of title contenders, Everton lost their first game today quite comfortably. Southampton looked very good and Everton just didn't. They didn't seem to create too much, I didn't think.
No, it just seemed like maybe the Merseyside derby took everything out of them. They just looked a bit leggy and a bit tired, and they didn't really create too many chances from what I saw.
Was it a red card?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just...
I think
it's a yellow card. It's one of those kind of cynical ones that you just stop the attack, and he's maybe caught him worse than expected, but I think it's a yellow. It's stopping an attack.
Yeah, he's not the last man. He's not like, through on go over Tuesday to tell your friends. He's not...
Very smooth.
Thank you. He's not creating anything. And yeah, he's trying... Obviously, he's ahead of the play. He's trying to draw a tactical foul. I think he did try and get him a little bit before... I think he missed, and then he just obviously tried again. Now, looking at it in slow motion, the way he gets his foot is not nice. It's quite horrible, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't think there's intent to let me stamp on your ankle. I think it is purely a tactical foul.
Just bring him down. Yeah,
I'll be so surprised if it doesn't get overturned, because it is a very clear yellow. And Digne as well, when he went off the pitch and stuff, he was still not happy, and I would agree.
And at that stage, I think it was, about 15, 20 minutes to play? And at that stage, at 2-0, that is game over, really.
Digne as well, he's one of your biggest creators, like a left-back. Yeah. He's fantastic.
Exactly.
No, I think that's going to get overturned. I'm surprised. What's VAR looking at, though?
No, I know. I don't quite understand that one, because the whole sort of wording of it is that you've got to prove that it's not a red card as the official decision, rather than looking at it as an individual one-off decision. You're not making the mind up of the decision. You're proving that it is not a red card. And I think sort of a competent referee should be looking at that and saying that's a yellow card offence.
No, yeah. Good goals by Ward-Prowse, Che Adams. Ward-Prowse goal was very nice.
Yeah,
very good. Took it away.
Yeah.
I
was surprised with Che Adams, he was able to have that time in the box, because he took a couple of touches before hitting it. But I think you can maybe question Pickford on the second one. It's kind of gone through him. But the first, he just
took a bit of a deflection.
Absolutely leathered across the keeper.
Yeah, absolutely hit it so nicely.
Yeah.
That win put Southampton up to 6th. Obviously,
could we hear the return of a classic tune? Southampton in Europa.
And Leeds, obviously, are still up there.
Yeah.
Now, at this very moment in time, Leicester are beating... Oh, no, they've won. There you go. Full time. Just finished. So Leicester in 4th. So this top... Can I just read the top 10?
The top 10. Do you want to read the top 8? It's a little bit more impressive if you read the top 8.
Right, let's read the top 8. Everton, Liverpool, Aston Villa, Leicester, Leeds, Southampton, Crystal Palace, Wolves. I love football. I love it so much. 6 games in, when we were doing our predictions, you expect there to be the obvious Liverpool, Man City up the top, challenging for third, like Arsenal, Chelsea, all that kind of near on the top. Man City are 13th, Man United are 15th, Tottenham are 11th, Arsenal still sitting 10th.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, and like you've got West Ham a few weeks ago. I think they played Newcastle first game of the season, got battered, and then you're looking at their next few games, and you're looking there is no wins coming in here, and they've done brilliantly. That's completely they battered
correct.
Wolves, they battered Leicester, they got points to Tottenham and Man City. I think they've got Liverpool coming up soon, and you couldn't write them off for it. They've played fantastically.
But obviously, the beginning of the season, they lost 2-0 to Newcastle, and then their running of games after that was Arsenal, Wolves, Leicester, Tottenham, Man City, Liverpool. And who would have thought from that running, they've got 3, 6, 7, 8 points.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant.
Out of a possible 12 out of the those teams. So, and obviously, we won't talk about the Carabao Cup game that they had in between against,
which they shouldn't have played for COVID reasens.
Well, that's changed their whole team. They got COVID. He went home, started managing from home, and they've become incredible.
David Moyes is managing on Zoom.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't want to sound too much like Donald Trump here, but David Moyes getting coronavirus was a blessing from God for West Ham fans. It was,
but no, it's maybe Alan Irvin's the brains in that backroom team.
Must be. And obviously, you're 3-0 down against Tottenham to come back to 3-0. And Antonio, there's another player that seems to be scoring some quite important goals. Yeah. Are we considering him for England? All these players. Would you? Anything that gets Bamford out of the squad. I have a feeling it's going to be quite an easy title for this podcast. Yeah. Elliot hates Bamford.
It's going to be hat-trick Bamford, isn't it?
It's not. I write the title as an absolute all-up. But and obviously, Southampton's still looking strong. Hopefully, Southampton Europa. Love the chant.
Yes.
Elliot, I read the top 8.
Yeah.
Who's winning this Premier League this season? I know it's still early days. We're only 6 games in.
It's gonna, for a neutral, it's gonna be a hell of a more entertaining season than it was last season. Because although Liverpool were super impressive, they walked the league at an absolute canter. It doesn't look like they're going to do the same this year. They're without Van Dijk. They kind of edged past Sheffield United. I didn't see the game because I didn't spend £15 on it, but they won 2-1, and it was a relatively late goal, I think, from Jota. And without Van Dijk, they're going to struggle this season, and they are going to lose games. Man City just really don't look the same team. I did see a brilliant tweet of it's all gone downhill since Man City got this deal with Puma, and Pep's been told he can't wear his Stone Island jacket. But yeah, then
I agree. Did we both have Man City to win the league?
I think so. Yeah, I think we kind of thought there'd be this wounded tiger, and they'd come back and attack, and they're not.
Just stayed down.
Yeah, they're just not looking. I mean, you could even question will they get top 3, top 4 at this rate?
Aguero looks off the pace as well a bit in the games that I've seen him play. Doesn't seem that Aguero, and obviously back up in Jesus and Sterling, he doesn't seem to be hitting the target like he did last season.
And I mean, we haven't really seen enough of Ruben Dias, but is he the company replacement? I'm not sure. Like, a company's got big boots to fill, and
huge boots to fill, yeah.
And yeah, just looking at the table, United are in 15th. Okay, they've only played 5 games, but you'd have thought they'd be up there. And you don't know. And yeah,
the performances after lockdown, 100%.
I mean, I think potentially the biggest challenge to Liverpool may be Tottenham. If they can get Bale firing and can keep Son and Kane fit and can keep sort of main players fit, they are with it. They have a very good shout.
I think I said it last week, and Mourinho's he came out in an interview with Sky Sports this week. Right now, I don't think there's a better team attacking wise. The way Tottenham have been attacking these teams. We'll forget about Everton beginning of the season. The way Tottenham have been really attacking, I've not seen a team this season match them. They've been so so deadly. And that Son and Kane link has been revolutionary for them. Like, where's this been for like the past few seasons? So they've got everything, haven't they, Tottenham? We talked about it last week. They've got everything to do it. They may challenge Everton. I think Everton will be a Champions League side next year.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah,
I think
no,
they've got the squad. They've got the manager for it. Keeper and defence. But
I can perhaps see them being how Leicester were last season. That they'll be there or thereabouts the entire season, and then maybe just drop off a few games to go and get into the Europa League. It may be a step too far, but I'd love to see Everton get a top 4 place, because I think they've been in the Champions League before, I think, but a long time ago.
David Moyes was in charge at the time, yeah. You know what's going to happen now that we've just predicted that? They're going to be relegated.
They'll get relegated, yeah.
Yeah, they'll be the Championship. Yeah, they won't be the Champions League next season, they'll be in the Championship.
Yeah.
So sorry, Everton fans, I do apologise, but you're welcome, Liverpool fans. So I can't call it. I don't want to call it. We're notoriously shocking at predictions. I was very close to swearing then, but I changed it to shocking. But it did begin with an SH, and which is not very good.
Yeah.
So but I like it. I love the fact that the top 4 is like Everton,
wide
Aston
open.
Villa and all this. Because, as you said, we're wide open. I ain't got a clue. And I love the fact that we're looking at this going, I don't know.
Yeah, and hopefully long may it continue, because it's I think the best season that I can remember as a neutral is the season Leicester won the league, because not only is it a fairy tale story of something that surely won't be repeated again, it was a wide open season all season. It was Leicester, it was Arsenal.
Didn't they win the league on like 82 points or something?
Yeah,
like that?
but I think it'd be another season like that where you're not getting teams winning the league on 98 points. Where I think it will be one in the 80s.
Wow. Well, as you said, who said it? Someone was asked, why do you think that there's so many goals being scored? And I can't remember what manager said it, but he said because the defending's been awful.
Yeah, no.
Long may that continue. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
It's
Makes games more entertaining.
They do. I've obviously alluded to it, hinted to it throughout this podcast. Elliot, you've mentioned quite a few times that you've not paid £15 for a game. No. I am shocked and appalled.
As a football fan.
As a football fan, that you're not paying £15 to watch Sheffield United, Liverpool, or who was the other one?
Palace, Fulham.
How dare you? It's almost, Elliot, like it was a shocking idea to begin with.
Yeah.
Sky Sports. So today, there was a report going around today that Sky Sports and BT want the Premier League to scrap this pay-per-view. Now, Sky Sports have been asked to release viewing figures. Mm-hmm. They've declined. Really?
Yeah.
The only revenue, obviously, they're getting is from pubs, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
We've seen some great causes, Newcastle in particular, that of note, not to verge away from everyone else, but first what came to me was Newcastle, where they've been donating their funds to food banks.
Yeah.
Local, and they've raised a lot of money for it.
Yeah, I saw another occasion, the 2 Merseyside clubs, they'd done the same. Instead of paying their £15 for a stream, they were putting it to food banks, and I think combined, because they were doing it as a combined sort of venture, I think they raised over £100,000.
Wow. I mean, I don't want to sound like an ITK, Indicalia, but I read on Twitter, that's where, all the
Sky sources,
all the Sky sources come from, and I feel like I read that one of the games brought in 73 viewers. Now,
yeah, I mean, that must be sort of, if that is true, that must be sort of outside of what was bought for pubs and that kind of thing. But yeah, it's just not worth it. Like, I think they're distributing the money between the clubs, and they're not going to be making anything off of it. Like, in terms
73p.
No, scrap
no,
it.
Exactly right. And obviously, when the Premier League take their cut, Sky Sports take their cut, what are the clubs getting? I don't mean to go off on a tangent. We'll come back to this in a second. But you mentioned Twitter and Sky Sources. Now, I seem to remember there was one time back in there when I was around yours.
Yeah.
And I feel like you started a rumour of Wesley Sneijder to QPR.
Did I?
I feel like you
feel
did.
like that was me.
I feel, of course, it's you.
It was the kind of thing I would have done.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it was in the Sun like a couple of days later.
Really?
Hold on, I need to look this up. I'm 100% sure you did something. You were like, I'm going to try and get Wesley Sneijder to QPR trending. And then we've got to look up your Twitter. Sorry, Lara, if this podcast.
I genuinely can't remember doing that, but
Elliot Clifford.
No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. There was a parody account, BBC Sport, and they started a rumour.
Right.
And yeah, then it was then posted on a site called HITK. I think it's something like Hit It Top Corner or something like that. It was an old. It was one of the lower tier football rumour sites.
Yeah.
And then it just got picked up. But they got picked up because Harry Redknapp saw it and he mentioned it in his column in the Sun.
Why did I feel like you did that?
No,
I don't know why I felt like you did that.
I mean, it sounds like the kind of mischief I'd have done.
Oh, you were back in the day. You were something.
Back in day.
Back in day. You were really something there. Oh. But anyway, back to the pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. It received backlash from the start. We've talked about it in length.
Yeah.
It was a shocking idea. I don't know what was going through the minds.
The worst thing about it is that they were showing all of these games anyway.
Yeah.
So you're actually losing a service and you're then having to pay for that service anyway. Whereas I think if they'd have brought this in when the season restarted so that you get 5 free games and 5 pay-per-view games, I don't think half as many people would have been against it if they'd just brought that in as the service. But they brought in that everyone could watch every game. And now that they've waited for half the country to lose their jobs and go, can we have 15 quid?
Yeah, by the way, yeah. We're hemorrhaging money. We're only worth a few billion. Come on now. So it would be interesting to see if this time next week when we talk, it will be one of the talking points will be it's gone, and
Fingers
so be it
crossed.
if it is. Yeah, I can only hope so. I liked the evening games. Because obviously we would have recorded after the Arsenal-Leicester game because that would have been a good game to watch. But we don't. We record quite early now because we're not paying 15 quid to watch a game.
Also, I really enjoyed the sort of Monday evening. You get in at 5:30, 6 o'clock. There's football on straight away. And then after that, there's another football game. And then that takes you up to 10 o'clock. And then, that was good sort of coming in. You know that whole day at work, you're coming in for a couple of games of football. Now you're only getting one.
Well, speaking of that, the Champions League and Europa League have returned. And they're doing those. Thank you. That wasn't planned. I'm getting good at these. You wouldn't think that we don't rehearse this or anything before, would you? We're so smooth. Obviously, Lana makes us sound a lot better than we are because we mess up. But you should hear some of the cuts that we have in this podcast.
Yeah.
And Lana's
most of them is cars driving past my room.
Lana gets like an hour and a half ramp. Yes, Lana wants me to record the Zoom meetings and do a montage of you stopping, looking out your window, looking angry, and then coming back and starting again. Champions League and Europa League are back, and they're back weekly. It looks like for the considerable future. It looks like we're getting through the group games. So happy about that. Man United. Well, I think it's good to start with them. Obviously, they're not very good in the league, but whenever they go to Paris, they seem to love it there. Or Rashford does anyway.
And to be fair, it looked like I didn't see all of the game, but it looked like that they deserved it. They put in a very good shift. And
sorry, very quick segue. Man United v Chelsea was one of the most boring games I've ever watched in my life. Continue.
I can second that. I watched the first half and then I put pointless on from one pointless thing to another.
That was. I was going to say that. Good segue.
But from what it sounds like, United deserved to win out in Paris. And I know from the outside, everyone's seeing United falling apart. They're 15th in the league. They've just been part of the most boring game in Premier League history. But that game in Paris broke a club record for them. That was the 10th consecutive away win, 10th consecutive away game that they've won, which is a club record. But it's surprising, really. You don't really notice it. Although 3 of those 10 games have been away at Brighton, but to be fair, Brighton are looking a decent side now. But
Ollie's at the wheel.
What was the quote? Give him a blank check and let him sign it. Was that the Rio Ferdinand quote? I bet he hates that.
It definitely comes up. It's definitely in all these group chats. But it was a very cracking game. It really was. And De Gea had a very good game as well. Neymar just seemed out of it. Didn't care. Wan-Bissaka played very well against Mbappe as well. And obviously the national treasure at BE. Let's not have kids go hungry. Marcus Rashford scored. We won't say too much more about Tories, but
although can we just say on that there was
what Tory?
No. It was sort of related to Marcus Rashford on Match of the Day last night after the Chelsea game, in the sort of preview to it, the commentator said Marcus Rashford starts whether you agree to his cause or not. Like,
he's quit Twitter because of it. Whether you agree to kids going hungry or not. Wow. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
You don't make friends talking politics.
No, and we talk about football with pretty much nothing else. So we'll keep politics out of this. So, but no, it's. But yeah, no, good win for them all round as well, because it's a pretty hard group because they've got Leipzig.
Yes.
I think on Tuesday or Wednesday, haven't they?
Yeah,
So
you think
tough.
whoever goes third in that group has got a real shout of winning the Europa League.
And obviously, Chelsea drew 0-0. Man City won.
It's another
1-0.
clean sheet for Mendy.
For Mendy. Clean sheet again against Man United. Again, it was sinfully boring. I don't know if he had any saves to make.
For me, though, the absolute standout result of the week was Shakhtar Donetsk going to Real Madrid, 10 players short because of COVID. I think they were something like 20-1 to win away at Real Madrid. They're 3-0 up at half-time. Real pin it back to 3-2, scoring the 92nd minute, but because Vinicius Jr. was stood right in front of the keeper, it was disallowed rightfully. And they have gone to Madrid and they have won 10 players short. What a result.
Amazing. Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Things you love to see. Quick note on the Europa League as well. Arsenal pegged it back. Obviously, they were losing 1-0. Came back to win 2-1. Tottenham, very comfortable. They seem to have a backup striker with Vinicius.
Yes,
getting 2
he's
assists.
looking very good. He's looking very similar to Kane, so he'll be perfect when Kane does inevitably have a few games out injured, or cup games or whatever, that he'd fit perfectly into the system.
Yeah, but are you sure you want 2 strikers that are exactly the same in the same squad? Because, I mean, judging from your earlier
You can have 2 the same.
quotes,
You can have 2 the same.
earlier quotes there, you didn't see you were quite against it. I don't know if it was maybe an agenda against a certain player, but we've moved on. Well, I have. Well, yeah. So and looked very comfortable as well. Rangers won as well, didn't they? They got a good win. They're top of the Scottish League as well. They're storming at the moment.
6 points clear now after today's results. But the only British teams to not at least get a point in the first games is Celtic, who, fair enough, they were at home to AC Milan. They lost 3-1.
Bit of a toughy one.
It's as tough as the Europa League game is going to get, to be honest. And unfortunately, Dundalk couldn't hold on to their lead against Mulder. I was brilliant watching it because you can tell that they're obviously not the quality of some of the players in Europa League, but they want it and the heart's there, and they really gave it the all. And it was a good game. It was an entertaining game. And yeah, it's probably going to... I don't even think they're playing the games at their actual home stadium because it's too small. They're having to play at a neighbouring ground.
Oh, I love it. I really want them to do well.
And Leicester back in Europe.
Yes.
3-0 win against Zoya. Don't know who Zoya are, but they won 3-0 against them.
Welcome to the part of the podcast which we call Elliot's pronunciations.
Yes. Well, I can repronounce the team that knocked Celtic out of Champions League qualifying, Ferencváros, who lost 5-1 to Barcelona in the Champions League group stage.
Right.
I'm proud of that one.
Well done. We are all proud of you.
That didn't sound condescending at all.
No, mate, it's fine. Derby are in the relegation zone. Barnsley are above them. Barnsley have not won a game this season in the Championship. Derby have. That's how poor Derby are this year. What is going on? Now, obviously, up the Rams in my local team. Son's got the kit. Thank you, Elliot.
You're welcome. 2 kits, because I
he's
bought
got 2
the smaller
kits.
size.
I saw it in the drawer. I thought, I'll get him in his Derby kit today. And I think I put on the bigger one because it
Oh, was it
down to his
massive
knees.
on it?
Yeah, it's quite big. So it looked
Nice.
damn cute in it though. And
bet.
though they're frustrating to watch. Now they had a goal ruled out quite justifiably, I would say.
Yeah.
I don't think Waghorn is in the eyesight of the keeper. I think the way the player, he's Joe something. The way that he's positioning his body to shoot the ball, it's very clear where the ball's going, and the keeper's diving that way.
Yeah.
Waghorn is not in the sight of the keeper. No, he's not.
I think the keeper gets a clear view of the shot.
That goal should not have been ruled out. Now, I don't know if VAR had looked at it. Obviously, I know it's not in the Championship, but if this was a VAR decision, it probably would have been disallowed because he's there.
So, on that decision, I can see why the linesman has given it, because he is in an offside position. But with the linesman looking at it from the side, he can't see the depth of where the player is on the pitch.
No,
And
of course,
the referee should have a discussion and say he's not in the keeper's eye line because he can see where he is along the box. And yeah, I think the offside, being in an offside position when you're that far sort of to one side should be irrelevant, really.
But it was ended 1-1. It was a cracking free kick by Waghorn in off the bar. We love to see it. And it was a bit of a Lyle Taylor got his first goal for Forest as well against it. My heart for Wickham bleeds.
It was last minute, wasn't it?
I know Plymouth fans don't want to hear it, and Peterborough fans don't want to hear it.
Sunderland fans,
But so close. They will win a game this season. They will.
Yeah.
And obviously, Cash gets
top goal scorer.
Well, yeah, Jess Elliot said, Cash that's now his second of the season. It's like that's also Wickham's second of the season as well. It's not not like an individual feat for him. He's the one that scored the goals for Wickham. And do you remember again back in the day? There was a team in the conference called Hyde FC.
Yes, they didn't win the game all season.
Still.
Yeah, I think they won one.
And every time they would get a corner, it would be like, we've got a corner like that.
They're brilliant on Twitter, I remember at the time.
Rock bottom. They weren't winning any games. Jeff Stelling, even on Soccer Saturday, was supported them as well. He had their scarf on to see if they could win a game, but I think they only won one. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame to see. Wickham are in the Championship. You know what I mean? It's
the thing is, by looking sort of at the outside in on Wickham, so their morale doesn't seem to be getting dented at all. They know they're kind of the whipping boys in the league, and they're kind of a bit out of their depth, but they're enjoying every minute of it.
They're playing in the Championship for the first time in their history. Just
their morale, they're loving it. Every single
Ainsworth is big on that.
They could genuinely probably be 4-0 down, getting 4-1, and they'll all be loving each other. I mean, that's not sort of a winning mentality, but it's probably a good place to be, and it's a good, happy changing room. And
I agree.
Yeah, I wish them the best, but it does look like they're whipping boys.
I was going to say, from something that we kind of expected to happen in the Championship to something that I 100% never expected to happen. Reading are top of the Championship, and they haven't lost a game this season.
They've conceded one goal. They're absolutely cruising it.
They're the only team in the top four divisions that have not lost a game yet.
Yeah. So the only points that they've dropped was a 0-0 against Middlesbrough.
Clean sheet.
Yeah.
And I'm miffed.
Yeah, I'm kind of not sure what's gone on with it. Because I don't think that they've recruited massively compared to last year. I mean, I know at the beginning of last year they brought in this George Puskas, a young Romanian forward.
Yeah.
But then he's only scored one goal this season. But yeah, I'm just kind of not quite sure what's gone on with them.
That's it. Last season they finished 14th, 1 goal difference, as mid-table as you could pretty much get. You know, a season before that, I'm pretty sure they just avoided relegation, or it was very close to relegation.
Yeah.
And year before that again, just about avoided relegation. And I think it was the year before that they were in the playoffs, wasn't it? I think that's where they lost to Huddersfield when they got into the Premier League. But I've not watched them in previous Championship seasons thinking, they're on their way back, you know, like we did with Leeds and Norwich.
Although the record points in the Championship is held by Reading. So are they going to go for that?
Right.
But, I mean, looking at their results, they have had quite a favourable fixture list to start with. But they have beaten Watford. They have got a point against Middlesbrough. They have won away at Cardiff. But, I mean, it's obviously going to tell over the 46-game season. But they're doing something right at the moment. And
that's it.
Momentum can do a hell of a lot for a season if they just keep it rolling.
No, yeah. I agree. And another thing as well is that Blackburn seem to be that when they lose, they lost 1-0 to Forest, they lost 3-1 to Watford, drew 0-0 to Cardiff. But when they're winning games, they beat Wickham 5-0, beat Derby 4-0, beat Coventry 4-0.
Yeah, no,
and they're a couple of points off the playoffs. Obviously, I know it's still early days, and the points total, everyone's a couple of points off. I think even Derby are a few points off the playoffs. They're really not, but there could be a dark horse.
I think Adam Armstrong's looked good for them for a couple of seasons, really. He scored a hat-trick against us last season, which a lot of players do.
That year, last year, yeah.
But then they also brought in Harvey Elliot, who got a goal and assist on his debut. And
smart signing.
That's a very good signing, because he looked promising for Liverpool when he played in cup games and whatever.
Yeah,
but
he did.
He was never going to get into that front three, even off the bench. So it's a smart signing to bring in. And yeah, if you have him over the course of a 46-game season,
Bradley Dack still to come back.
Be brilliant. Yeah, absolutely.
Bradley Dack. That's a sad segue into Gillingham. Have lost 4 games of the last 5. Not a very good run of form. It seems defensively we're just not. We fall asleep. Whether that's due to lack of experience. Obviously, we've got a couple of young loanees. in. Obviously, we've got that Magmoa for Mycoma, who was a free from Tottenham, and Zach Medley as well at the back. And I don't know. I still think we're going to beat Hull in the playoffs, regardless. I'm sticking to that. I will stick to that throughout the whole season. But I've already got much more to say. Fleetwood, obviously, as not to bring it back onto Hull, but as a whole, no, they can be a good side.
Yeah.
On their day, can be quite a fierce side. And Ogilvy gets sent off, and obviously Ched Evans scored second near the end of the game. It looks so promising. It looked a good start to the season, and it's still a long way to go. So I still think I don't want to dwell on it too much. Not looking good, obviously, 4 losses out of 5. But I don't know. I've still got some hope. I still think we've got the squad, and I still think we've still got the right man in charge. We've recruited very well, striking options, everything like that. I think get a bit of morale up, get a couple of results going, and I think Gillingham could do. Because it happened, didn't it? I think it was like November last year. Gillingham started to not lose. They weren't winning, but they weren't losing.
I think
and then
they
started
go like
to
10
build
or
a bit of
12
momentum.
games unbeaten or something.
Yeah.
I mean, they drew about 5 of them, but
but we weren't losing them. That was the big thing with Gillingham. And winning away.
Yeah, it's become a very difficult team to beat, and yeah, absolutely. Now, we played Peterborough on Saturday, Hull City, and
Derby.
Yeah, we did lose, but I watched I watched all the game, and we were the better side. In truth, it was just one of those games that they were more clinical than us. I don't think I can really fault our performance at all. We deserved to get the points, they got them, and it was just a tough game. And that's more annoying than the Fleetwood game where we just didn't turn up, because I don't know how much more we could have improved on Saturday.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, we just didn't get the points, but I'm not too fussed over it, because they are going to be one of those teams that's in and around those top 2, top 6 places. So it was always going to be a tough game, but I still think that I still fancy us for automatic promotion, to be honest.
Nah, losing the playoffs, the Jewels. That's the only place I see Hull. Talking, obviously, there's Lincoln have gone top of the league in League 1. Going down to the depths of League 2, Bolton's manager isn't very happy with their 20-year-old young goalkeeper, is he? You don't go out on local radio and call him. He even said as well, didn't he, in the interview, he said, I've spoken to him, privately, and now I'm telling him out here, like, man up, this is a man's game. And you think to yourself, if you've already spoken to him privately,
you keep that private. It's
right,
shocking
yeah.
management.
And
he went on him for like past few games. He said, I think he said that he'd cost him 2 goals in the Barrow game, and now he's cost us a goal today, and we can't be affording that. Now, I don't think that should leave the changing room, really.
That's not. I don't know if he thinks he's Jose Mourinho, and he thinks he can just say that, speaking on local Bolton BBC radio. You're not. That's not the way to manage. I feel for that keeper there, because his confidence, he probably has made mistakes, and your confidence has probably dipped from those mistakes, and you need to be built back up, not called out on radio by your manager saying you've cost us these points, man up. That's shocking. Yeah.
You'd be straight on the phone to your agent to say, get me out of here. I can't. Yeah.
Well, it's if they can even afford agents at Bolton, how they are, yeah.
But it's not the right way to manage a young goalkeeper, especially as we talk on it quite often, is that when you're playing in goal, you need the confidence. And it's very confidence based, that position.
That's
and
it.
if you're just getting shot down by your manager, it's not.
No, it's not
like
like
get nothing from it.
It's not like he received a pass back from a defender and then he passed it into his own net. Like, oh wait, no, that was the Grimsby goalkeeper. The Grimsby goalkeeper did that. That was, I know we talk about confidence stuff. That was quite funny.
Yeah.
Because Mendy almost did the same as well, didn't he?
Yeah. It was a few yards wide of the post, but yeah.
The Petr school of goalkeeper. Yeah. That was quite interesting. Staying with, obviously, first round draw of the FA Cup is Monday. Hopefully we can get that elusive Gillingham v Hull tie that we all crave, everyone that listens. Sorry. You said, literally just before we started recording, you had actually something that was quite interesting. It was an interesting question. I said, hold on, wait until we record, and then I will ask that question now.
Yeah, so obviously you're getting fans going to the games of non-league clubs because they are open to the fans. Now, what happens if Hull City get drawn away at non-league?
United.
Are they in? No, they got knocked out in the previous qualifying round.
Did they? Oh.
But yeah, it was scarily close. But yeah, what if we get drawn away at a non-league ground? Does that mean I can go to the game, or what does that mean? Because I know we wouldn't be allowed in if it was a home game.
No.
But yeah, can I go to some local park somewhere on the outskirts of Wigan or something? Well, I probably couldn't because that's tier 3. But can I go to a local park on the outskirts of Plymouth?
I I tell you what, yeah, get me there with you. I want to see Elliot at a football game again. I want to see Elliot two cans of dark fruits.
It's been,
that's all it takes, isn't it?
It's been far too long. It's been far too long since we've gone to a football match. Yeah, like we mentioned a few times, it's Burton away in February.
Burton away in February, and 0-0 at Burton away in February was the last time that we went out.
Yeah.
For me, like obviously me and you, obviously I've been out since and you've been out since, but being as we live in two different locations, it's been a bit harder to see each other. So yeah, obviously we haven't gone out since February.
Yeah, and it may have even been worth it if the terrace was open, but there was no terrace.
There was no terrace. The most entertaining thing about that match was the hat being thrown around. The
man got dragged away by police because he threw a hat onto the pitch.
He threw a hat onto the pitch, and then the stewards gave it to the policeman, and then he went back down to say, "Can I have my hat back?" They said no, and then literally the Gillingham ultras just started going down and offering out all the policemen and stuff.
It was a brilliant day out.
Yeah, and I just miss it. I absolutely miss it.
There's nothing like Saturday 3:00.
As soon as everything's back open again, that's it. I don't want to. The thing is, as soon as everything's back open again, I'll drink responsibly, but I also don't want to remember the first Saturday out on the Sunday. So that's the plan.
Also, do you going off on a tangent? Do you
we love it? We love a tangent.
Yeah. On the daily tweets from BBC News and Sky News and everything like that they come out with the coronavirus numbers. No matter what the numbers, all of the responses below are open the stadiums.
Let fans in.
Yeah.
We shall see. It'll be weird because we're due to go to Barcelona April. I think obviously we're still.
That would be questionable at this, right? Yeah. But...
Well, I'd argue obviously it's. I still want to go. Who would have thought that the next game after Burton in February, the next football game that we go to, could potentially be Barcelona?
Yeah,
Barcelona the following April.
Yeah,
the next
be over a year.
April year after.
But also, that is one hell of a tangent, and you didn't even know it, because the weekend that we're in Barcelona is the away game of the Clasico, which just happens this weekend. But
well then.
We're there midweek, which I think is a Champions League week.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. The Clasico obviously comfortably won by Real Madrid as well this year. Our Euro roundup. We'll obviously do a quick Euro roundup. It's
probably been the most sort of dull Clasico of recent years, because you don't have the front threes of recent years of BBC and MSN. You don't have 100,000 fans packed into the Nou Camp. But there was a record broken of Ansu Fati's second record broken this week, after midweek being the youngest ever Champions League goal scorer. He is now also the youngest ever Clasico goal scorer. And I know it's not the first weekend of the month, but do you know whose record he beat on that?
Oh, you've put me on the spot there. Jeez.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, I wasn't even...
I'll give you a clue. It was broken in 1995.
Ibra.
No, Raul.
Oh, Raul. Okay. Yeah, Real Madrid legend.
But, yeah, Sergio Ramos got another goal from a penalty.
He always does El Clasico, doesn't he?
It's either a goal or a red card. But I can only presume, I didn't watch the game, but I can only presume it was a Panenka from the penalty, because that's just what he does.
And speaking of comfortable wins, Ajax hit 13. I had to look it up because I was thinking, the reason, because I saw a tweet about it and I think they were trending. And I was thinking to myself, well, this is, have the Dutch League kicked off yet, or have they postponed it? Is it a friendly?
I was thinking, is it a cup game?
Yeah, or something like that. No, it's a league game. The stats are hilarious. The stats are absolutely hilarious. I can't remember who they played. VV something.
VVV Venlo, which until the end of last season was Lee Catamol's side.
Yeah, there you go. Hard-hitting facts here on Through on Goal. They had 3 shots and none on target. Ajax had 44 shots and 23 on target. Their goalkeeper...
The keeper must have had a good game.
Well, that's right. Their goalkeeper, according to FootMob, not a sponsor, played a 2.3. Yet he made 10 or 11 saves that game. Diving saves as well, according to the stats. And Onana, what's my name? Onana is...
Shocking.
Shut up. And... he played like a 6 purely because he didn't make a save. He didn't do anything. He literally did nothing.
He must have taken 3 goal kicks. That would have been it.
I would have, yeah. I would have said to him, like after the 13th go, like when they're taking the centre, just like, have a shot.
Have him take a free
I'll
kick
have a pot,
or something.
please. Yeah, my gloves are cold. I need this.
My favourite part of that is if you look at the times that the goals were scored, there's a little section just after half time where Ajax score in the 54th, 55th, 57th, 59th minute. Like the heads are just dropped at that stage.
What has happened there? Like,
but it's worth mentioning that Ajax striker Lassina Traore, no, not the 30-year-old 6'9" player who used to play for Everton, the 19-year-old scored 5 and assisted 3.
Not the worst return for him. Yeah, we got to mention it anyway. It was, I couldn't believe what I was reading. I couldn't believe it.
Because I think I got a message at 11-0. That was the first I heard of it, and there was still like 10 minutes to play.
I think Paddy Power tweeted it or something. I can't remember who tweeted it, but I was like, oh, okay. I went onto Footmob, not a sponsor, and they were like, huh. I was like, wow, okay, yeah, that's that's a league game. Good goal difference there.
Yeah.
And so we come on to No Context News to end the podcast, the section where me and Elliot challenge each other to find the most random news headlines from around the world that really make us think. I don't know what Elliot goes for. He doesn't know what I go for. We say the headline, end the podcast. Obviously, it's changed because I'm doing puns now. I do apologise for last week. It did not go down very well with anyone that listened, so I do apologise. Next week's, though, you wait for next week's.
Okay.
But Elliot, you have a news headline. You had 2 and you've just been deliberating, but you've got one.
I've chosen one because I think on what we've just said, it's more suitable. So talking of teams who have lost heavily after Ajax, this headline comes from Sky News and it says, football team lose 37-0 after socially distancing from opponents. so thanks very much for listening. We are Through on Goal. We're on YouTube. We're on Spotify, Apple, Google, Simplecast. We're wherever you get your podcasts. You can find us if you search Through on Goal podcast. And yeah, thank you very much for listening. I've been Elliot.
I've been Sam.
See you next week.
Yeah, see you next week. Cheers.